Ladies and gentlemen, we've been told for generations to be nice, to smile, to accommodate, to adjust. But let me tell you something, being nice is not the same as being respected. Here's what you should do instead. For too long, women have been conditioned to believe that their worth is something to be earned, something to be granted by others. Society has taught us that we should wait for opportunities, wait for appreciation, and wait for permission to take up space. But let me tell you this, your worth is not up for debate. It is not a question mark at the end of someone else's sentence. It is not something you need to prove, beg for, or validate through someone else's approval. You deserve to walk into every room with the confidence of someone who belongs there. Whether it's in your workplace, your home, your relationships, or even within yourself, you must know that you are enough, more than enough, just as you are. When a man walks into a meeting, he doesn't hesitate to state his opinions. He doesn't second guess if he deserves a raise, a promotion, or an opportunity. So why should you? Women are just as capable, just as hardworking, and just as ambitious, yet too often we hesitate. We ask ourselves, am I ready? Am I good enough? Will they think I'm being too aggressive? But here's the truth, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you demand. If you wait for someone to recognize your value, you might be waiting forever. It's time to stop waiting. It's time to take up space unapologetically. When you demand your worth, you change the way people treat you. If you underplay your value, others will take advantage of that. In the workplace, this means negotiating your salary without hesitation. It means walking into a meeting and speaking with authority, knowing that your voice matters just as much as anyone else's. If a man asks for a raise, it's seen as ambition. If a woman does, she's often labeled as difficult or demanding. But that shouldn't stop you. You deserve to be compensated for your skills, your time, and your expertise. Stop accepting less just to avoid making people uncomfortable. The people who benefit from your silence are the ones who fear your power. The same goes for relationships. Too often women settle for men who don't value them because they are afraid of being alone. But loneliness is not the absence of a man, it's the absence of self-worth. The right partner will see your strength and rise to meet it. The wrong partner will try to diminish it. If a man does not respect your time, your dreams, and your standards, then he does not deserve access to you. Love should never come at the cost of your self-respect. The moment you start demanding your worth in relationships, you will attract people who are willing to rise to your level instead of dragging you down to theirs. There is nothing arrogant about knowing your value. The world has conditioned women to believe that confidence is something they should tone down, while men are taught that it is their birthright. This double standard needs to end. Confidence is not arrogance, it is not ego, it is power. And you have every right to own yours. Women who demand their worth are often labeled as too much. Too loud, too ambitious, too intimidating. But let's redefine what too much really means. It means you refuse to shrink yourself for the comfort of others. It means you won't apologize for being intelligent, driven, and independent. It means you are not willing to be treated as an afterthought. And if someone calls you too much, maybe it's because they were never enough to begin with. One of the biggest lies we've been told is that demanding our worth makes us unlikable. But let me ask you this, would you rather be liked for being agreeable or respected for being powerful? The people who matter will always respect you more when you stand your ground. They may not always agree with you. They may not always love your confidence, but they will know that you are someone who refuses to be overlooked. So, how do you start demanding your worth? First, stop doubting yourself. Stop talking yourself out of opportunities because you're afraid you're not ready. No one is ever 100% ready, and if you wait until you feel completely prepared, you'll miss out on life-changing moments. Say yes to challenges and figure out the details later. Second, learn to say no. Saying no is one of the most powerful things you can do. No to underpaying jobs. No to toxic relationships. No to situations that don't serve you. Every time you say no to something that undermines your worth, you make space for something better. Lastly, surround yourself with people who uplift you. There will always be those who try to belittle you, who make you feel like you are asking for too much. Distance yourself from those people. Find mentors, friends, and partners who see your value and remind you of it when you forget. The world will always test your confidence. It will challenge you to prove yourself over and over again. But remember, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You are already enough. You always have been. The moment you start believing that the world will have no choice but to believe it too. So stop waiting for permission, stop waiting for recognition, demand your worth, and watch how the world rises to meet you. For far too long, women have been conditioned to believe that setting boundaries is an act of selfishness. We have been raised to be agreeable, to accommodate others, and to prioritize making people around us comfortable, often at the expense of our own well-being. But let's get one thing straight, setting boundaries is not selfish, it is necessary. It is an act of self-respect, an assertion of our worth, and a declaration that our time, energy, and emotions are valuable. Boundaries are not about shutting people out. They are about ensuring that the people in our lives treat us with the respect we deserve. When you do not set boundaries, you invite people to take advantage of you. You open the door for others to dictate how you should live, how you should feel, and what you should tolerate. And once you allow that, it becomes a cycle, one where you give more than you receive, where your needs are always secondary, and where your voice is constantly silenced in the name of keeping the peace. The truth is, setting boundaries will make some people uncomfortable, and that's okay. People who are used to you always saying yes, always bending over backward, and always being available may not like it when you start prioritizing yourself, but their discomfort is not your problem. Your responsibility is to yourself to protect your energy, to stand firm in your decisions, and to stop apologizing for putting yourself first. It starts with small things, saying no to plans that drain you, turning down opportunities that do not align with your goals, refusing to engage in conversations that diminish your confidence, and most importantly, removing people from your life who consistently disrespect your boundaries. If someone repeatedly ignores your limits, they are not just crossing a line, they are showing you that they do not respect you. And if they do not respect you, they do not deserve access to you. In the workplace, boundaries are crucial. Too often, women take on additional responsibilities without recognition or reward simply because they feel obligated to do so. They stay late, take on extra tasks, and overextend themselves because they fear being seen as uncooperative. But here's the reality: working yourself to exhaustion does not make you more valuable. It only teaches people that they can exploit your effort without consequence. If a task is beyond your role, if a deadline is unrealistic, if someone is disrespecting your time, say no. You do not owe anyone an explanation for protecting your well-being. Boundaries are just as important in relationships. Love does not mean sacrificing your needs. It does not mean tolerating mistreatment, emotional manipulation, or disrespect. If someone truly values you, they will respect the limits you set. A healthy relationship is built on mutual respect, not on one person constantly giving while the other takes. If a partner guilt trips you for saying no, dismisses your feelings, or pressures you into things you are uncomfortable with, that is not love, it is control. And you do not have to accept it. Family, too, is an area where boundaries often get tested the most. There is a misconception that just because someone is related to you, they have unlimited access to your time, your emotions, and your life. But blood ties do not give anyone the right to overstep your boundaries. You do not have to entertain toxic family members. You do not have to endure guilt-tripping, manipulation, or constant criticism. Love should not come with conditions that require you to shrink yourself. You have every right to set limits, even with the people who raised you. One of the most difficult but necessary lessons is understanding that you are not responsible for other people's reactions to your boundaries. When you start standing up for yourself, some people will accuse you of being rude, distant, or difficult. But that is simply a reflection of their own entitlement, not a reflection of you. You are not mean for protecting your peace. You are not heartless for refusing to be drained by others. You do not need to justify why you are prioritizing yourself. Setting boundaries does not mean shutting out love, kindness, or generosity. It means ensuring that the love you give is reciprocated, that the kindness you show is respected, and that your generosity is not exploited. It means creating space for people who truly value you rather than those who only seek to take from you. It means understanding that your energy is sacred and that you deserve relationships, romantic, professional, and personal, that uplift you rather than exhaust you. You will notice that the moment you start setting boundaries, you will lose some people, but let them go. The people who truly belong in your life will respect your boundaries, not challenge them. And in their place, you will attract those who understand that you are not someone who can be walked over, used, or taken for granted. So stop apologizing for protecting yourself. Stop feeling guilty for saying no. Stop allowing others to dictate what you should tolerate. Your peace, your happiness, and your well-being matter. And anyone who cannot accept that does not deserve to be in your life. For generations, women have been taught to prioritize politeness over power. We have been conditioned to be agreeable, to soften our words, to smile even when we are uncomfortable. We have been told that being liked is more important than being heard, that our strength must be carefully packaged so that it does not intimidate others. But let me tell you something, politeness will not get you the respect you deserve. Being agreeable will not help you break barriers, and staying silent just to keep the peace will never bring you the life you truly want. It is time to stop being polite at the expense of your own voice. There is a difference between being kind and being a pushover. There's a difference between being respectful and being silent. Boldness is not about being rude or aggressive. It is about standing your ground, taking up space, and refusing to let the world diminish your presence. Being bold means speaking up when something is unfair, even when it makes people uncomfortable. It means refusing to be interrupted in meetings, refusing to let others take credit for your work, and refusing to apologize for having ambition. Too many women hesitate before sharing their ideas, afraid of being perceived as difficult. But let's be clear, your ideas matter, your contributions are valuable. You do not need to downplay your intelligence to make others feel comfortable. The next time you walk into a room, own it, speak with authority, believe that you belong there because you do. Being bold means advocating for yourself without hesitation. Do not wait for someone else to recognize your worth. If you want a promotion, ask for it. If you deserve a raise, demand it. If an opportunity excites you, pursue it without second-guessing yourself. And do not sit quietly hoping that your hard work will speak for itself. Sometimes you have to speak for it. Men do this without hesitation, so why shouldn't you? No one is going to hand you the life you want. You have to go out and claim it. Being bold also means setting boundaries without guilt. Women are often expected to be endlessly accommodating, to say yes to every request, to be available at all times, to take on emotional labor without complaint. But you are not responsible for making everyone else's life easier at the expense of your own. You do not have to explain yourself when you say no. You do not owe anyone an apology for prioritizing your well-being. If someone calls you selfish for setting boundaries, let them. That says more about them than it does about you. Being bold means refusing to conform to expectations that do not serve you. Society has an unspoken rulebook for women: be soft, be quiet, be humble, be likable. But who does that really benefit? Certainly not you. The most successful, influential, and powerful women in history did not get there by being agreeable. They got there by challenging the system, by refusing to stay silent, by daring to demand more. And if that made them unlikable to some, so be it. Your purpose in life is not to be liked, it is to be respected. Being bold means embracing your ambition unapologetically. Women are often labeled as too much when they are ambitious. Too confident, too outspoken, too opinionated. But let me ask you, too much for whom? The only people who fear a bold woman are those who benefit from her silence. If someone is intimidated by your confidence, that is their problem, not yours. Keep dreaming big, keep striving for more, and never let anyone make you feel guilty for wanting success. Being bold means knowing that your voice is just as important as anyone else's. Do not wait for permission to speak. Do not let others decide when your opinion is valid. If you have something to say, say it loudly, clearly, without hesitation. Your voice is powerful and the world needs to hear it. Yes, being bold will make some people uncomfortable. Yes, it will invite criticism. But guess what? No one changes the world by playing small. No one makes history by being polite. The women who have paved the way before us, leaders, activists, innovators, were not concerned with being nice. They were concerned with making an impact, and now it is our turn. So stop apologizing for being strong. Stop minimizing yourself to fit into spaces that were never designed for you. Stop worrying about being liked and start focusing on being bold. Because when you own your power, when you step into your confidence without fear, you do not just change your own life, you inspire every woman around you to do the same. Women have been raised to be nurturers, caretakers, and problem solvers. We have been taught that love is about patience, that relationships require sacrifice, and that if we just try a little harder, we can change people for the better. We have been conditioned to believe that if a man is emotionally unavailable, distant, or immature, it is our job to fix him. But let's be clear, you are not a rehabilitation center for men. It is not your responsibility to fix someone who refuses to fix himself. Stop believing that if you just love him a little more, support him a little harder, or forgive him one more time, he will finally become the person you need him to be. That is not how love works. Real love is not about tolerating inconsistency, making excuses for someone's lack of effort, or waiting endlessly for them to change. If a man is not meeting your needs, it is not a reflection of how much effort you put in it, it is a reflection of his choices. And if he is choosing not to show up for you in the way you deserve, it is time to stop fixing and start expecting. Expecting does not mean being unreasonable. It does not mean demanding perfection. It means setting a standard for yourself and refusing to accept anything less. It means understanding that you deserve love, respect, effort, and consistency. It means knowing that a healthy relationship does not require you to constantly teach someone how to treat you. The right person will not need to be convinced to put in the effort. They will do it because they want to, because they value you, and because they see your worth without you having to prove it. Too often women lower their expectations out of fear. Fear of being alone, fear of being called too demanding, fear of scaring men away. But let me tell you something, the right man will not be scared away by your standards. The only men who are intimidated by a woman who expects respect, consistency, and effort are the ones who are never willing to give those things in the first place. And if that is the case, why would you want them? Stop settling for potential. Potential is an illusion. You cannot build a relationship based on who someone could be. You have to look at who they are right now, their actions, their priorities, their consistency. If someone is not showing up for you today, do not assume they will magically change tomorrow. Growth is a personal journey. A man will change when he wants to, not when you want him to. And it is not your job to wait around, hoping for that day to come. Start expecting emotional maturity. A relationship should not feel like raising a child. You should not have to explain basic respect, communication, or accountability. If he cannot have an honest conversation without shutting down, getting defensive, or making you feel like you are asking for too much, he is not ready for a real relationship. Emotional maturity is not something you can teach someone, it is something they have to develop on their own. Start expecting reciprocity. Love should not feel like a one-way street where you are always the one giving, compromising, and adjusting. A healthy relationship is built on mutual effort, not on one person constantly overextending themselves while the other does the bare minimum. Stop accepting breadcrumbs of affection, scattered apologies, and temporary changes that never last. If someone truly values you, they will show up consistently, intentionally, and without you having to beg for it. Start expecting respect. Respect is not just about words, it is about actions. It is about how someone talks to you, how they handle conflict, and how they make you feel. If a man repeatedly crosses your boundaries, disregards your feelings, or makes you feel small, he is not just being a man, he is showing you exactly who he is. And if someone shows you who they are, believe them. Start expecting love without struggle. Love should not feel like a battle you are constantly trying to win. It should not be filled with endless cycles of hurt, apologies, and false promises. Love should feel safe. It should bring you peace, not anxiety. It should make you feel valued, not exhausted. If a relationship is draining you more than it is fulfilling you, it is not love, it is emotional labor disguised as love. You are not asking for too much. You are asking the wrong person. The right person will not make you beg for the bare minimum. They will not leave you feeling confused, insecure, or unworthy. They will not need constant reminders to be kind, present, or accountable. The right person will meet your expectations not because you demanded it, but because they genuinely care. So stop fixing. Stop making excuses. Stop holding on to relationships that require you to do all the emotional work. Instead, start expecting. Expect honesty, respect, effort, and emotional maturity. Expect to be loved in the way you deserve. Expect to be with someone who does not need to be taught how to care for you. And most importantly, expect yourself to walk away from anything that does not align with your worth. Women are often taught that their worth is measured by how much they do for others. From an early age, we are conditioned to be caregivers, nurturers, and supporters. We are told that being a good daughter, a good wife, a good mother, or even a good friend means putting others first, sacrificing our own needs, and always being available. But let me tell you something, your life is not meant to be spent constantly giving while receiving nothing in return. You are not selfish for making yourself a priority, you are essential. Making yourself a priority is not about neglecting the people you love, it is about ensuring that you are whole, fulfilled, and healthy so that, when you do give to others, it comes from a place of strength, not exhaustion. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot be your best self for your family, your career, or your relationships if you are constantly drained, overworked, and neglecting your own needs. The world will always take as much as you are willing to give. If you do not set boundaries, people will assume you are endlessly available. If you do not speak up for yourself, others will decide for you. If you do not put your own dreams, health, and happiness first, no one else will do it for you. Making yourself a priority is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It starts with understanding that your time is valuable. How often do you say yes to things you do not want to do just to avoid disappointing someone? How often do you cancel your own plans to accommodate others? How often do you put off your own goals because you are too busy supporting someone else's? It is time to stop. Your time is yours and you do not have to justify how you spend it. If something does not serve you, if it drains you, if it takes you further away from the life you want, say no. You do not owe anyone an explanation for protecting your energy. Making yourself a priority also means taking care of your mental and emotional well-being. Too many women carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. We absorb everyone's problems, we take on responsibilities that are not ours, and we feel guilty for wanting a break. But you are not responsible for fixing everyone else's life at the expense of your own peace. It is okay to take a step back. It is okay to say, I need a moment for myself. Your mental health matters just as much as anyone else's, and if you do not take care of it, no one else will. Another key part of prioritizing yourself is investing in your own growth. Women often put their dreams on hold for others. We delay pursuing our passions, furthering our education, or chasing career goals because we are too busy helping others succeed. But your dreams deserve attention too. You are allowed to have ambitions. You are allowed to want more for yourself. You are allowed to put your goals first without guilt. And let's talk about relationships, whether romantic, family, or friendships. Stop prioritizing people who do not prioritize you. If someone only reaches out when they need something, if they dismiss your feelings, if they do not make an effort to be there for you, then why are you bending over backward for them? Relationships should be reciprocal. Love, respect, and effort should flow both ways. You should never have to convince someone to value you. If they do not see your worth, it is time to walk away. Self-care is also a non-negotiable part of making yourself a priority. And no, self-care is not just bubble baths and spa days. It is making sure you are eating well, getting enough sleep, moving your body, and doing things that bring you joy. It is about listening to yourself. What do you need right now? More rest, more boundaries, more fun, more solitude. Whatever it is, give it to yourself without guilt. You deserve care just as much as anyone else. One of the hardest but most important lessons is learning that you do not need permission to put yourself first. Society may try to convince you that a good woman is selfless, always giving, always sacrificing. But you are not here just to serve others, you are here to live your own life. It is okay to want happiness. It is okay to prioritize your well-being. It is okay to say, I come first. Yes, some people will not like it when you start making yourself a priority. Those who benefited from your constant availability, those who were used to you always saying yes, and those who took you for granted may push back. But that is not your concern. The people who truly love and respect you will understand. And the ones who don't, they were only in your life because they expected you to keep shrinking for their comfort. Choosing yourself is the most powerful decision you will ever make. It is a declaration that you matter, that your dreams, your peace, and your happiness are just as important as anyone else's. It is not selfish, it is necessary. And the moment you start putting yourself first, you will realize that the world did not fall apart because you said no. The people who truly value you will still be there, and most importantly, you will finally start living the life you deserve. Women are often raised to seek approval. From childhood, we are taught to be agreeable, to be accommodating, to smile even when we do not feel like it. We are told that being liked is an achievement, that making others comfortable is a virtue, and that our worth is measured by how much others approve of us. But let me tell you something, approval will not get you the life you want. Power will. Too many women spend their lives chasing validation, hoping that if they are nice enough, quiet enough, or pleasing enough, they will finally be accepted. But the truth is, no matter what you do, there will always be someone who disapproves of you. There will always be people who think you are too loud, too ambitious, too much. So why waste your time trying to please them? Instead of bending over backward to gain approval, focus on gaining power. Power is not about control or manipulation. It is about agency. It is about having the freedom to make your own choices without being limited by the expectations of others. It is about standing in your truth, even when it makes people uncomfortable. It is about knowing your worth so deeply that you do not need anyone else to confirm it for you. Choosing power over approval starts with realizing that you do not need permission to take up space. How many times have you hesitated before speaking your mind, afraid of how others might react? How many times have you downplayed your success to avoid making others feel uncomfortable? How many times have you let someone else's opinion dictate your choices? Enough. You do not need validation to exist boldly. You do not need approval to be powerful. Women are often socialized to believe that being liked is more important than being respected. But here is a truth you need to embrace. Respect is far more valuable than approval. When you prioritize respect, you set boundaries, you refuse to be treated as less than you deserve, you demand to be heard. But when you prioritize approval, you shrink yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. You make yourself small so that others can feel big, and in doing so, you give away your power. Power comes from confidence, and confidence comes from knowing that you are enough without external validation. Stop waiting for someone else to tell you that you are smart, capable, or worthy. Stop seeking permission to chase your dreams. Stop apologizing for having ambition. The people who get uncomfortable when a woman steps into her power are the same people who benefit from her staying silent. Do not make their comfort more important than your growth. Choosing power over approval means making decisions based on what is best for you, not what will make others happy. How often have you chosen a career, a relationship, or even a lifestyle based on what was expected of you rather than what you truly wanted? Women are often pressured to conform, to follow a timeline, to prioritize family over ambition, to make choices that keep everyone else happy. But what about you? What do you want? Your life is yours, and you do not owe anyone an explanation for the path you choose. Choosing power over approval also means refusing to water yourself down for the sake of being more likable. Strong women are often labeled as difficult, bossy, or intimidating, but think about it.